Hi, I'm Mark Canu. You may have seen me in such fine quality chemistry educational videos as It Came from the Lab and What's in That Tackle Box. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the LabQuest 2. This is take 2 because the first part, it was really hard to see the screen as I looked on this. So let me go through here. This is put out by Vernier, and what this does, think of this as a handheld computer. With a handheld computer that there are a number of probes that you can attach to. There's about over 100 different probes, and we can do measurements with it. Things that we couldn't do beforehand. And now it's a lot easier because we can graph things. We can do a number of things with this. And it says an auto recovery or remote LabQuest file has been detected. Would you like to open this file? No, because that's just basically the thing. On this unit, there is a stylus. And here it is. It's down the side. And I'm going to go and hit cancel. And right now, this is our home screen that you see. And you may notice, I want you to pay attention to some of the visuals here. Over here, this kind of looks like a fuel gauge up here in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, this is always like your home screen. This is always when you go back to the Dorothy, I gotta go home to Kansas. Yes, that's a Wizard of Oz reference. Over here, this particular one here, as you can see where my stylus is, in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, that would be the graph, if you wanted to go see a graph. Over here is the XY. Okay, this would be instructions, and this would be able to make notes. I'm not worried about it. Okay, here, this is basically the limits of our experiment. The mode is time-based. Okay, so that means that it runs over a certain period of time. The rate is 2 samples per second. Okay, that works. And the duration is 10 seconds. So the whole experiment would, if we ran it with a probe and we didn't change any of this, it would run for 10 seconds and it would take 2 samples every second of, depending what the probe you're going to be using. Okay? It would be that simple. Now, in this case here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this. This is the temperature probe. Okay. Now, the temperature probe is one of the most useful probes out there in the entire system. Now, when you guys come into the lab, the temperature probe will already be connected. Now, in this case, you're seeing absolutely nothing there in terms of probes because there's nothing in there. But I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And oh wow, isn't technology awesome? In the old days when I worked with the great-granddaddy version of this, I had to sit there and tell it what kind of a probe and all that other stuff. So now check this out. We got channel 1 temperature, and right now it's in Celsius, and probe's over here. Woo. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'll put my hand on it, and woo, look at that, it's going up. Well, that's what it's supposed to be doing if you put your hand around the probe like this. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. I want to show you what can you do with this. All right, well, for one thing, in the sciences, yes, we deal with Celsius, and that's what we do. But for people who are not familiar with Celsius, and you're doing all your experiments in Celsius, to let you know, you guys can go and find it in Fahrenheit. So you click on here, it says change units. Notice I had to click on inside this box here. Change units, and then I can change it to Fahrenheit. And boom, look, it's already at Fahrenheit, a nice comfortable 76, almost 76.5 degrees. There's always going to be some kind of a fluctuation. That's always going to happen. Okay, but you know what? I'm kind of interested in the Kelvin. Okay, well, Kelvin is another temperature. Some of you guys know about Kelvin, some of you guys don't, so I'm going to change it to Kelvin. Ooh, 297 Kelvin. Okay, give or take. So we can change the unit. Now, if you tap here, you notice nothing's happening. Tap here, you're not going to change the unit. You have to tap in the box, and we're going to put this back into Celsius, so now it's back into the correct units that we use. Okay, so now let's go and try to set this up that we can take an experiment. Okay, and for doing that, all right, we can press mode and we can see it's time based, but we can also do it for events with entry, photo gate timing. I don't have that. Full spectrum, drop counting, data matrix. There's an awful lot that we can do, and I do not have all the probes for that, but I wanted to show you what can be done with it. Samples, how many samples per second? Okay, 2. That means half a second for one sample. The duration is 180 seconds. Samples to be collected, 361. The triggering is disabled because I'm not punching any buttons. We're letting it be time-based, so it does it automatically. Let's see, advanced stuff, oversampling, repeat, enable data marking. No, I don't care. Photogate mode, none. Yeah, that's true. It would be absolutely none. I don't have anything. This is the data collection page. It's setting up our parameters for it. So we're going to press OK. Now you kind of notice that once I plugged in the thermometer, it changed. Remember how it was like 10 seconds? Okay, well now it's 180 seconds. That's a default. Now I'm not going to run it for the full 180 seconds. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to change the seconds. Now I can also change it to milliseconds, seconds, minutes, and hours if I wanted to with this pull down menu. I'm going to go change it from 180 and I'm going to hit this back key, and I'm just going to go ahead and put in 30 seconds, and then I'm going to hit done with that. So at this point now I've got 61 samples to be collected, 2 samples per second, which that's pretty fast. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change that to 1 sample per second. All right, so it's going to be 1 second per sample, 1 sample per second, 30 seconds total. Samples to be collected is 31. Well, why not 30? Well, they have to get the initial temperature. That's why. Okay, we're going to hit OK. We're going to go back. And now what I'm going to do, it's off screen. I am going to let the probe go on its own, and then I'm going to hold it with my hand so you can see some kind of a temperature change, and I'm going to walk you through what's going on. Because right now it's changing, but it's not recording anything. Because this is on the spot at the very moment. Okay? There's no graph because we haven't run it yet. Now, how do you run it? If you go down here, you kind of notice that there is a box with a green arrow. The green arrow tells you it's time to go, you can collect. So we press it. And now you start seeing it's starting to record, and you see a graph being made. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rub the temperature probe. So the idea is for you guys to see. Now, is that the final graph? Well, for this one, yeah. But if you have a lot more data points, this may not be the best showing. Okay. You noticed how that graph changed? Because you didn't see the final graph. You saw the graph as it was going. So now we have a final graph here. And one of the things that we can do, we can go ahead and we can go from point to point. So we can go anywhere along here and look at the temperatures. We can analyze the temperatures at any point that we want. Okay, there are a lot of things that can be done with this. So, for example, I want to see my actual data. Okay, you've noticed here in the XY column, press that, and you get your actual data. All right, so you kind of know, we'll just bring it up to here. So here it is at time 0, 21.5. Okay, and then it's going to move on. Notice it goes to 21.6, then down to 21.5, then down to 21.4, and then 21.9. You are going to see changes like that. It's not a big deal. Okay, as we climb up, you notice, okay, the temperature is going up. That we expected. Okay, and you can see, you can scroll all the way down to get your final data point, which on the evaporation lab, that's what you're going to be interested in, is your start and your end. Okay, pretty much. That's what we're going to look at. Now, if you want to go back and watch the graph again, come up here, see in the upper left-hand corner, look at this particular button here. It looks like a graph, okay? So I'm going to press that, and wow, it takes me back to the graph. Fantastic. That's great. Now notice it'll give you the temperature and the time. So at 14 seconds, that was the temperature reading that we had. Okay? So that would be something that's very useful. Oh, wait, I forgot to get my data points. No problem. Go back here to the XY, press that, and just scroll along at what time do you want to pick up your data points. Okay? So some labs I'll have them do that, some labs I won't. Okay? Depending. Now, say I want to go back to my home screen. I want to see what the temperature is right now. Okay, see this thing here? It looks like a little fuel gauge right here in the upper left-hand corner. So I can do that, and right now it's comfortable, 27.1 Celsius. If I want to change units and change it to Fahrenheit, I can click. It says change units. There's the drop-down menu. I'm going to hit Fahrenheit, and poof, there's the Fahrenheit right there. Okay. Now, at this point, I just basically gave you the basics on how to operate this. So once again, this is the home screen. This is the temperature that you're getting at this very moment. We have our limits as far as how we're running the experiment. We have our graph that you can use, this graph thing here. I want to go back to the home screen. I click on the fuel gauge. Then I click on here for my graph. Then I can click on the XY so that I can see my time and my data. The other two I wouldn't worry about. That's not really important for us here today. Okay, guys, I am hoping that this will help you out. And you guys, this is a take 2 simply because you guys couldn't see the details in part in take 1. Okay, I hope this will help you guys out. And it gives you a nice little thing for an introduction to LabQuest 2. All right, thanks guys, and come back the next time.